Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Kennels. So yes, I got that other video for you, and also the review of the previous movie to Ip Man's Kung Fu Legend, and that is none other than Ip Man's Kung Fu Master. So this was the previous movie to the other one. So these were the two parts. Let's see that. Came in focus. There we go. There we go. We got it in focus. Yes. So now this only came out on Blu-ray. So it's not much to the case itself. So give you a look at the artwork there, so you can get a good look-see there. And then on the inside is just the disc itself. So not very much to the packaging. Now this one was from Magnet, or at least the I guess whoever released it is Magnet, where the second one was Well Go USA. So those were the two releases of this movie. Now I will say, from as far as the Blu-ray release is concerned, this is a damn good looking film. Audio is fantastic for this, works really well. The fight scene choreography was a lot better than the second movie, at least I personally think it is. And the story was just so much better on this movie. And like I said, the second part had a good story. It did. But this one, the story was way better. Like, I actually felt for Ip Man in this movie. Like, I was like rooting for him. And I was even rooting for some of the other people, the other characters in this film. So basically with this one, Ip Man, he's a young guy, but he's a cop, and he wants to follow the law the way the law should be, basically followed, especially like for criminals, people breaking the law and stuff like that. So there is this one, I don't really want to call them a gang, but they're a gang, the Axe people, the Axe group, I forget what they're called, but they're the Axes. So the main dude, that's the leader of them, it's him, but he also has his daughter, which she comes into play into this movie. But basically he's just a straight G, good old gangster. But gangsters deal with people the way they deal with them. Hey, when you break them rules, you go out that gangster way. So, that's just the way that boss was. But anyways, Ip Man ends up locking him up, puts him in jail. So, he basically tells Ip Man, like, look, just because I'm in jail doesn't mean I'm going to survive. I'm pretty much still going to end up dying anyways. Which he does. He does get killed by like these two other people. So a female and a guy. You can basically consider them like assassins, pretty much is what they was. But anyway, so he kind of gets killed off. But then you also have the guy's daughter, who basically wants to take her revenge on Ip Man, because she believes that he's the one that killed her father, but he didn't. So he's kind of like trying to prove to her, like, look, I didn't kill your pappy. Your pappy got killed by somebody else, and it wasn't by me. So, they get into that whole little scuffle thing. But then you also got the police chief. I mean, I really thought this dude was crooked. I really did. And, until he kind of, showed that he wasn't crooked. But I don't want to spoil that for you because, he kind of ends up getting killed at this one point. And then one of the, I don't remember if he was a cop or not. But I know he was helping Ip Man while the other folks were trying to pretty much kill Ip Man. So you kind of see him betray Ip Man to a certain extent. But they end up making him the police chief, like the new police chief, which is pretty ironic, but it is what it is. But yeah, you kind of have like that whole story tying in there. But then you also got like, the Japanese, they're trying to take over, they want to control the Chinese people, basically like, their karate is way better than the Chinese, kung fu. So they, end up making this like contest, but the contest isn't until the end though. But Ip Man ends up finding this old man that's kind of like helping him out, but he doesn't he doesn't really know who the old man is. But the old man is actually another master. So he calls him Uncle. I forget why he calls him Uncle, but he calls him Uncle. I believe he had like a relationship with Ip Man's Sifu, his master. So I think that's why he called him Uncle, because of that. So that the drunk guy ends up helping him out because at one point Ip Man ends up wearing this black mask, and I think they call him I don't know if it was the black Knight. No, not Black Knight. Black something. I forget what it was, but they call him Black something. But at one point, the old man ends up taking the mask and using it himself to kind of not avenge who's getting killed, but to let the like the Chinese people like kind of live on and like have a reason to fight, pretty much. So he kind of gives himself up for the cause instead of Ip Man doing it, because the guy who was the Chinese like general, I mean not Chinese general, the Japanese general, he wanted to fight the guy with the black mask, and he also wants to fight any of the people that are willing to join this competition to see who kind of like who's better, but also to try to unify Japan and China together, which really isn't what they were trying to do. They're just trying to take over China, is what they really want to do with that. But yeah, I think I kind of like leave it there for you. I don't want to spoil it too much because you do kind of get to this part in the movie. So if you, basically, like if you ever watched the first Ip Man movie, and I want to say it was the first one, where he's fighting the Japanese general in the town in the big ass ring. So you can kind of tell they do a lot of that in the movie. So that was really similar to like the first, I want to say it was the first Ip Man movie when he fought that Japanese general. So there's like a lot of similarities in between like that scenario, the fight, but some of the things were changing as far as like how they did their version of it. I thought it was pretty cool. I did enjoy it. Was the fight as good as the Ip Man fight, like the original, like the other Ip Man movies? No, it wasn't. It was still good though. Like I really enjoyed this one. To be truthful, I think out of between the Kung Fu, what was this one? The Kung Fu Master and Kung Fu Legend, I enjoyed Kung Fu Master a lot better, even though this was like a 2019 release, and the Kung Fu Master, or I mean the Kung Fu Legend, was a newer release. I want to say, hold up, it just came out. So yeah, 2026 release. Yeah, because I know I just got it because I had it pre-ordered on Groove. So, and I had just got it when I seen it. So, that was a new release. So I thought the older release, the first movie of the two films, was a lot better than the second film. Even though the second film did have a really good story, I just didn't feel like it was executed well. That was the only gripe that I had with it personally. But other than that, I mean, this shit was fantastic. I love this one. This one was really good. Not as good as the Ip Man movies with Donnie Yen. It's not as good as those. But this was really, really good. I do have the TV series coming, because they do have a TV series. I always thought it was more than one season, but apparently it's just one season, 50 episodes. So I'm waiting for that one to come. And I do have some more, I don't know, I don't know if they're all Chinese movies. I think they are, but I do got some other Chinese movies that are also coming in probably within, I don't know, a week or two. But the other thing was, remember I said before in the other previous video that I thought this guy was like the played Ip Man in a different movie, which I was right. He's the same dude, even though in the other movie he's a lot older. But yeah, he was the one that played Ip Man as a like kind of almost like a teenager to like maybe the 20-year-old Ip Man version. I want to say it was Ip Man Legend. I kept thinking it was a different name of the movie, but it's who I thought it was. It's the same dude, and he also played in the Ip Man movies with Donnie Yen. So he was also in those films. Like I said, they take those characters and they use them in other Chinese movies. That's just how they do over there. They just keep that money train, you know, just going. But yeah, cool ass movie. Definitely check this out if you're into like Kung Fu movies, Ip Man. If you haven't seen any of the Ip Man movies, I would probably say if you want to go from like an enjoyability, I would watch these first and then watch the Donnie Yen Ip Mans, because it's, you know, those are like leaps and bounds better, but still very, very good. But yeah, that's pretty much kind of like my wrap up type of review for the movie itself. Like I said, I don't really want to spoil it for you because there was so much shit going on in this movie. All the plot twists, all the people betraying people, all the people kind of like, you know, being like spies. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it there for you because, like I said, I don't want to spoil the shit for you. But definitely watch this movie. Great fucking movie. Loved it. Enjoyed it. Anyways, it's been your boy BULLBOYKENNELS, and as always, keep on scratching. Peace. Hopefully I sound better too, because I had a really bad chest congestion. I still got it. But man, in that last video, boy, I was fucking wheezing like a bitch. Damn, like it was bad. It was bad. But hopefully it's a lot better now than the previous video. Even though it's only like 3 days apart, something like that. Yeah. Anyways, peace out. Hope you enjoyed the video. Do what you gotta do. I'm out of here.